Hey, was it tricky for the bowlers with lines and lengths trying to protect the short bound? It looked like they got a bit messed up in there.
Yeah, it was. That short side was quite small, so I think logic told us to try to stay away from it. So tested our skills once again. I thought the plans were in place, and just comes down to execution. So we were certainly trying to stay away from that short side. I think the West Indian boys hit sixes to the long side, so imagine what they would do to the short side. So we try to play the percentage game, and then it just comes down to execution on the night.
So what was the plan to try and stay away from that end?
Yeah, so they would have tried to keep a left and right hand at the crease at most times, and as did we when we batted. But naturally, to the right hander, throwing it out really wide, setting your offside dominant field with the guys on the boundary, and then if the lefty comes on strike, you've got probably a few more options. You can use the short ball, you can bowl slow ball bumpers and sort of heel Yorkers. So trying to mix them up like that, and it's a tricky one with staying unpredictable but also keeping the percentages in your favour. But yeah, I'm happy with the plans that the bowlers had, and then if the plans are sorted, then execution is something that we can always work on, which is good.
Hi, AIDEN. Just on the ticket prices. No, I'm joking. AIDEN, you mentioned execution, and it seemed to be a sort of game where what happened in the last couple of overs of both innings actually decided the outcome. And I think the West Indies had 16 sixes in their innings, and you guys had about 6, I think. Now, we know that you guys do have 6-hitters in your batting lineup. It's not as if they can't do it. But was that the difference tonight, just that execution, that you guys couldn't clear the boundary quite as much as they managed to?
I mean, I would say so, yeah. I think it comes down to them bowling well and executing well and making it tough for us. But having said that, I'm sure we all missed out on the odd opportunity here and there to hit one out of the park. And with ball in hand, we understand that if you miss to these West Indian guys, they don't need much of a second invitation to hit it out the park. So it's a tough one, and I suppose it comes down to executing, but also when you miss, how badly do you miss? And if you're just off and it's a very low full toss, it's still incredibly difficult to hit for 6. But if you're missing by bigger margins, then it makes it a lot easier.
Thanks, Ken. We'll just go to Hines here.
And yeah, just on that, are you guys also actively, or have you been reminded actually the value also of just keeping, because like we mentioned now, you guys have the hitters and stuff, but were you guys also reminded tonight, that it's important for the lower order guys also to almost want to be reminded that they have an opportunity and a responsibility as well, because as we saw, a guy like Romario from number 9 and Alzari at number 10 actually got crucial runs, 59 runs, for the 9th wicket in a T20 feels almost weird, but there's real value in still slogging it out, I almost want to say.
Yes, that's spot on, and our boys do work hard, our lower order, middle to lower to tail. They all put in time in the nets, practicing, trying to smoke it, and that's exactly what we want from them. Obviously, if you look at a night like tonight, it's incredibly difficult to come out and do it from ball 1, so we have to appreciate that. But I think they do understand that there is a role on a certain day when they've maybe got 5 or 6 overs to bat that, like you mentioned, it's actually an opportunity for them to make a big difference. So they've been training hard and training well, and we'll keep our fingers crossed if that time comes for them that they can do it for us.
And then just the last one from me, Riza Hendricks. He's a very understated guy actually when it comes to batting in T20s, but do you guys feel that he's almost like become one of the most valuable performers actually, just time in and time out just keeps on performing?
Definitely, and his consistency is unbelievable. I'm not too sure of the stats, the past sort of maybe 10 games that he's played, but I would say he's gone past 50 quite a few times in those last 10 games, and for someone to be at the top of the order and setting the tone like that and helping the middle order sort of free it up after that, it's a huge role that he's doing incredibly well for us. So I'm happy for Riza. He's got an opportunity now, and pretty much every time he gets that opportunity, he takes it with both hands. So he's doing a great job for us. His consistency is huge for us at the top of the order, and yeah, long may it continue, hopefully.
And just on the result, I think you'll look at that last over of KG, dropping Hino dropping that catch as probably the moment where you guys would have lost it. Is that fair to say?
I don't think you can point out a single moment. Obviously, there's moments throughout the game that could end up making a big difference. Yes, that was one of them, but it's pretty much down to self-reflection, I would say, and me seeing how I could have done things better that would have benefited the team, and the same applies to all other guys that were on the park. So, yeah, we don't want to pinpoint any moments. Very often in cricket games, catches do get dropped and mistakes do get made, so it is to an extent part of the game. But yeah, like I mentioned, it's all self-reflection now, and if guys can learn from it and not repeat the same mistakes, I think we're going in the right direction.
We also headed into obviously two crucial matches this weekend. What do you guys take out of this series and the whole tour as a whole?
Yeah, I think there's quite a bit of good that we can take from it. I think with bat in hand, the guys have tried their best and have put up a bit of a fight, which is good. And most of the guys in the top six are all pretty much in form, which is a great thing to take forward. And then from a bowling point of view, it's another opportunity for the bowlers to remind everyone that they have been one of the best bowling units in the world in the past 18 to 24 months. So, yeah, we'll take as much good as we can. We'll also take the lessons with us. But like I mentioned, two very big games that we're looking forward to.
Cool, we're going to take one more from Ken, and then we've got one online from Keenan.
Can I double up? That's okay. Thanks. Aiden, firstly, did the pitch change condition at all this evening? Because it seemed harder for you guys to, well, let me put it this way, the West Indies seemed able to score a bit more freely than you guys did, or was that just a function of their bowlers executing a bit better?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it changed the level a lot, to be honest. Like I mentioned, they probably executed more often with the ball, and hence it looking tougher for us. So I'm trying to think back now, but I think whenever someone bowled a really good cutter, it stopped quite a bit in the wicket, and there was value of sort of getting or bowling a good cutter into the wicket. But I think it remained the same way throughout the whole game.
And then just you did touch on it, but on a positive note from this series, I mean, it's been a very high-scoring series. Run rates have been above 10 and over consistently. And the Proteas batting lineup has had a few question marks about it and been under a bit of pressure. So how pleased are you that the new approach, there seems to be a lot more belief, if you like, in the batting order, a lot more confidence?
It does feel like it, which is great, and I think it's not just myself, Rob and Temba are driving it massively, JP's driving it massively as well, to let guys express themselves, and each person's got their options that they're really good at, and they have the absolute freedom to back those options every single day. So if it doesn't come off on the day, but it's their strong suit and their option, no one's going to ask them any questions, and we're going to pretty much laugh it off because we know it's their strength, and the next game hopefully they get it right. So yeah, really good signs with the bat in hand, and we're going in the right direction, and it's good to see guys buying into that brand that you're sort of speaking about in terms of a bit of freedom and belief, and obviously still work to do, but it's very good to see some good positive results coming out of those chats.
Thanks, Ken. And we'll look to take one last question this evening from Keenan.
Thanks, Lucy. Commiserations, Aiden. I was just wondering, David Miller came in before you in the previous game and then today again. Was that down to just the left-right combination at the crease, or is that something we can expect to see more often in T20s?
Yeah, it's pretty much completely down to that left-right hand. The previous game, Akil Hussain still had 2 overs, and if David Miller's at the crease facing him, it's a matchup that works well for us. So it's pretty much being adaptable with our 4, 5 and 6, including Klaasen in there as well. We know he's very destructive against spin, and he's going to play a massive role for us moving forward as a team. So we sort of wing it on the day and we make that decision out in the dugout, and if we can keep left and right combos throughout there for as long as we can. If you speak to our bowlers, they say it is much tougher to keep changing from left to right, so we try to use that in our favour when we can.
In a series where bat has been so dominant, does it hit the bowler's confidence at all, and you have to do some work there?
Yeah, it's definitely been a tough series for the bowlers, no doubt, on both ends. And yeah, I mean, absolutely, the guys were involved in some seriously competitive cricket, and there is work to be done. So it's a sort of yes on both fronts, and just being realistic about one, the quality of the batting, and then versus the quality of the skill execution from a bowling point of view. So I think we have to acknowledge that there was some seriously good batting over the last 3 games, but in the same breath, there is work to be done on the bowling front.
And what particularly concerns you with the bowlers?
I think you'll always come down to it. It would be very cliched after losing games, especially like that, is just skill execution, and execution of skills in relation to the plans that we discussed. So it's never going to be anything different. That's, when you lose a game, it inevitably comes down to your skill execution or your plans on the day. So we're probably guilty on both fronts, really.
Thanks, Ken.
Rob, I'm going to approach it from the other side, on the batting. When you came in, you spoke about trying to free up the batsmen and backing their options, backing their games. I know you've lost the series, but how pleased are you with the way, it was a series where run rates were consistently over 10 and over, and previously the Proteas batting lineup has maybe looked a little bit lacking in confidence and they've struggled a bit. So do how pleased are you with the way the batsmen have responded?
Yeah, it would be very difficult not to be excited by what we've seen over the last three games in this series, and prior to that in the 50 over stuff. So I think we're getting there. We're certainly making progress in terms of how we want to play the game. Just a couple of days ago we scored the highest run chase ever in T20 cricket. So, and then 213 tonight. So there's exciting things happening. It's really nice to see the guys playing with the freedom and just expressing their skills. So it really is good to see, and there's more in the tank, I believe.
Thanks, Ken. Right.
Rob, firstly, I know you sort of started going on this trajectory under Mark Boucher still, but are you chuffed having this new revitalized and consistent and almost understated performer like Riza Hendricks in your arsenal? He's almost, some people might opinion that he's probably one of the most valuable guys you have in this lineup at the moment.
Yeah, no one needed to convince me of Riza Hendricks' quality. He scored 135 against us, I think, against the Titans in Kimberley, playing shots like you've seen over the last couple of days. I've known he's a quality player for a very long time, so it doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest. I think he's a wonderful cricketer. His strike rate has been up in the game, both games, without you really even noticing it, and that's testament to the type of cricketer that he is, the shots that he plays. He's not necessarily a prolific six-hitter, but he hits great cricket shots for 4, and so it's wonderful to see the way he's played, and hopefully that'll continue for a long time.
And just lastly from me, Rob, in terms of, there's obviously been a lot of value to be derived from the past few weeks, actually, in terms of the white ball game, but do you believe you guys will have to adjust a bit now? Obviously it's perhaps in the greater scheme of things a bigger occasion, but do you guys feel you'll have to really adapt from almost like the giddy freneticism of this past week to the grind now of Benoni in a must-win game against the Netherlands? Just almost want to say mentally.
Why did you put grind and Benoni together?
I just think it's probably obviously a venue that's a bit more gritty and
Willowmore Park was my second home for a period of time, so I've got great memories of it. No, to be honest, I'm excited. I really am excited by these 250 over games because, one, they are big games for the team in the context of what they mean. For me, I'm looking forward to seeing how the team responds in this pressurized situation. and how we can still adopt our game plan in a must-win or two must-win games for us. So, and being at Willamore or wherever it is, it's just really, I'm looking forward to seeing the team respond, and really trying to play our brand of cricket now when it really counts.
So Rob, it's going to sound a bit harsh, but you've not won a series since your arrival yet. I know rain's obviously played a part, but just generally your thoughts on the two white ball series so far, and just looking into this two matches, some rain forecasted for Benoni on Friday as well. Where do you guys stand mentally and just physically after these two series?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've already discussed there's a fair few positives, to be honest. I thought we fielded excellently well across the 50 over and T20 series. The batting has obviously had some real standout moments. The bowling has as well at times, and then we've had areas that we've had to brush up on. So for me, I'm really positive around the cricket that we're playing. I think that from where we are now to where we want to get to is not a hell of a long way. It's just some skill execution stuff, some skill development areas, and then some game plan things which are actually not that difficult to improve on. So again, looking forward to, as I've said already, looking forward to the series. Even though there's rain around, for us it's irrelevant. We've got to try and get those games in, play what's in front of us, and get 2 wins if we can.
Thanks. So we're going to go Ken, and then we do have one from Belos online as well.
Rob, just specifically tonight, the ability to clear the boundary. Do you think that was the difference tonight? I mean, the West Indies, especially at the death, I think they ended with something like 16 sixes, and you guys only had 6. And it's not, I mean, we know the personnel are capable of clearing the boundary, so was it just execution on the night that let you down?
There's probably two sides to it, and without stating the obvious, there's a batting and the bowling element to that, to that stat. We know that they're a powerful team, and that's what they do. They hit sixes, and their stats tell you that. And we, even in the last game, when the chase, we had less sixes but more fours, significantly more fours. So for me, there's obviously an element of clearing the fence there. But I would say today, from an execution point of view, I think their bowlers just executed far better than we did.
Great, thanks. Belos?
Hi Rob. Rob, we're hearing quite a lot of talk of guys feeling that they're able to express themselves, feeling confident, feeling backed, all that sort of terminology. What do you think that you've done in the short space of time to instill these feelings in people, and what sort of state did you find them in? I mean, was there like something you needed to persuade them of or unlock, or kind of how's the whole thing worked?
No, I mean, certainly I would be very, very arrogant to say that I've had a significant impact in this short space of time. I don't think it's that at all. I think for me, it's just around being consistent with the language that I use with the team and with the players, and that is, consistently telling them to find ways to express themselves, to take aggressive options in the game. When feeling under pressure, to think of what the aggressive option is that they have in their strengths, and then back that. And if they do that and it doesn't work, we can deal with it. And then more often than not, it actually does when you do that. So, and in terms of what state did I find the team in, I don't have any point of reference to the past, to be honest. For me, it was just a clean slate with the team, and hopefully they gave me that clean slate as well. So for me, it's just really being consistent, to be honest with you, continually being consistent with my language, being honest with the guys, very transparent in terms of the planning moving forward, making sure that each guy knows where he stands in that planning. And that's no easy feat, because things do change. You get 3 finger injuries 2 days before an ODI starts, and the whole thing looks different. So, but still, just trying to be real with the guys and be honest with them.
Thanks for those. Telford has one last question.
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, Rob?
Hey, Telford.
I appreciate it's a different format, and they're going to be very different opponents, the Dutch. But what can you take from this this T20 series into your 2 games against the Dutch? Is there anything you can take from this West Indies series into the Dutch series?
I suppose there's members of the side that will take confidence specifically in the batting unit. I think confidence is transferable. There's no doubt about that. And really, just the continual language in our team that we've spoken around an aggressive mindset, backing the options as we've covered off many times before. So. But most importantly, like we've tried to say every day, you start at naught, and the only thing you take into the game is confidence. Everything else resets, it's different conditions. Batters are naught, the bowlers have got the ball in their hand for the first time, and you've got to do it all over again. So it will be no different on Friday, respecting the game and respecting the opposition and making sure that we pay attention to our skills.